Yes, you can leave. Yep.
Yes, I am live coming at you on direct on this Monday. Good to be seen. Good to be with you guys. The Montreal Canadiens at long last. My God, did I feel like forever? How many days? 10 days, 14 days, 24 days? I don't know. It felt like a long time between the last time we saw the Montreal Canadiens play and when we just watched them on their annual Super Bowl weekend matinee extravaganza. So the Montreal Canadiens pull out a 4-3 overtime victory. And it's okay. Apparently, the internet connection is not the best at the Bell Center. It's okay. They got the call right. Habs win an OT. Followed that up with a dominant 6-2 performance over the visiting Edmonton Oilers and pretty much snuff out Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid went into the game on Sunday afternoon with points in 15 straight games. Not on Sunday, my friends. Not against the Montreal Canadiens, who by all accounts looked rejuvenated out of the break. And lots to take away from the Montreal Canadiens, taking all the points away from from what was available with their 2 wins on the weekend. The schedule gets really busy. It starts back up for the Canadiens tomorrow when they host Chicago. Then they're on the road for the next 4. They're in Carolina Thursday, in Toronto on Saturday. And we'll tackle next week when we tackle next week. But I got to tell you, a little something that I learned on the weekend was that I like afternoon hockey, you guys. Not sure where you're coming down on the afternoon matinees, 12:30 puck drops, or shortly, I don't know, quarter to 1, kind of in that realm. Got to tell you, I love the afternoon games. I love waking up, having breakfast, relaxing, taking the dog for a walk, kind of getting a few things done around the house. And I can't do laundry. Whoop, can't do chores. Whoop, can't run errands at the grocery store. Hey, listen, I gotta watch the Montreal Canadiens. I have audiences I need to talk to. I got to talk to them on TSN 690, like I did this morning with my pal Connor McKenna, 6 to 10 weekdays on TSN 690, and here we are now, 20 minutes to 11 o'clock on this Monday morning, talking about the Montreal Canadiens. Yes, it's one of the best perks of this job, of what I do as a career for a living. I cannot do things. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. I have a reason not to do things. I have to watch the Montreal Canadiens. I got to watch the Waste Management Phoenix Open like I did. I got to watch the bleeping Super Bowl on Sunday. What a game it was. No doubt. We'll talk about that later. But I want to talk about Raphael Harvey-Pinard, who's got 6 goals in 9 games. One of the bright spots, obviously, for the Montreal Canadiens are dealing with a plague of injuries, knowing that the March 3rd trade deadline is right around the corner. Interesting to see a little giddy up in so many steps of so many older players, players that you and I have spoken about at length in this podcast, in this space together. Lo and behold, Jonathan Drouin looks like this guy found what was missing from his game, and that's competitive jump. My boy Frank texting me on the weekend, utterly convinced that Jonathan Drouin listens to In the Car with Star. Why wouldn't he? Look at all the bright-minded people we have tuning into us live right now. Don't forget, this is a live broadcast. You can comment. I read your comments. Let's react to your comments. Jonathan Drouin, here we are on this 13th day of February, getting closer to the March 3rd trade deadline. Drouin looks more engaged. Yoel Armia waiting for him to pick it up. The mystery that is Sean Monahan, watching Evgeny Dodonov do his thing. Mike Hoffman's been much more consistent and more productive on the regular basis as the Montreal Canadiens scored. They got 4 goals from their defense. They got power play goals. They got a shorthanded goal. Arbor Jacki fought Vincent Desharnais. What was a fun heavyweight tilt. We don't see that often enough in the National Hockey League anymore. The Montreal Canadiens, occasionally, everybody, they are a fun team to watch. Occasionally, they can entertain you. And I think if you're at that either game, Saturday or Sunday afternoon, I don't think you thought about Team Tank. I don't think you thought about where the Canadiens competitively are in the standings. Said, shit, man, they let one get away. They let when they beat the Islanders in overtime, and then followed that up with a dominant 6-2 win over Connor McDavid and the Oilers. I don't think people were leaving the Bell Center pounding their fists in anger about what they just saw. It just goes to show you, just like the players, some fans are no different, especially when you go see hockey live. Hockey, from my point of view, is the best professional sport played in front of your eyes live on site. It's fast. There's so many things that happen without the puck and get a little bit nasty. And then ultimately, you're left with 8 goals on Sunday. You're left with 7 goals on Saturday. Canadiens win an OT. Canadiens dominate the Oilers, who, by the way, are we convinced that this Edmonton team is dangerous at all? Like Stuart Skinner, Jack Campbell, Like, what are we talking about? What's the level of belief with the Oilers and how far this team could go? Like, is Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, are just those two guys alone, first ballot Hall of Famers already, are they good enough to get out of a second round? Can they get to a conference final? Like, with Darnell Nurse and Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell? Like, okay, so fine, maybe Edmonton's going to pay a king's ransom to get Erik Karlsson, but even then, you need 8 Erik Karlssons to go with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You need goaltending. At the end of this, you need goaltending. In the end, the Oilers, man, they just don't have it. Jeffrey up in the comments this morning, depressing. LOL, Jeffrey, depressing. Let's start Monday on a positive note, my guy. The Kansas City Chiefs are crowned Super Bowl champs for the second time in 4 years in a 38-35 victory over Jalen Hurts, who threw 4 touchdowns, or scored 4 touchdowns, I should say. And the Philadelphia Eagles did something on Super Bowl Sunday that no team has ever done before in either the conference championship or on Super Bowl Sunday itself. And that is managed to score 35 points in a game and lose. 24-0 in the conference championships, 15-0 lifetime in the history of the Super Bowl. Teams that score 35 or more points were 15-0 in the Super Bowl up until Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles came up on the wrong side of the TSN turning point. Let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about the value of officiating. Let's talk about the importance of getting the call right, regardless of the circumstances. James Bradbury, hold on now. Corey Fitzgerald up in the chat. Good morning, Corey. How's it going? Hope you're well. James Bradbury was the guy for the Philadelphia Eagles who put the hold on Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't think I ever make a coherent argument that the reason the team lost, the reason your favorite team lost, was because of the officiating. I've said for years, and I maintain it today, officiating is a loser's perspective on a game. To blame officiating for why your team lost is loser talk. Full stop. It's loser talk. So let's get out of that trap right now. Let's talk about the set of circumstances that led to James Bradbury putting a hold on Juju Smith-Schuster. It's my opinion that yes, we can look at the fact that the TSN turning point was probably the punt and the Kadarius Toney return to the 10-yard line that put the ball in the red zone for Mahomes, punches at it, Skylar Moore into the end zone. Chiefs trail. Chiefs are winning for the first time, and they really never look back. And now we get to the holding call. It is my opinion that at that point, James Bradbury forced Juju Smith-Schuster to reroute his originally designed run. And I chose to look at that play. And look, I'll be honest, when the referee threw the flag on the field at that moment in the fourth quarter last night, I went, wow, really? And like everybody else, we see the replay. How does it go? What happens? Not only is it 2 separate tugs of the jersey, to which James Bradbury of the Eagles, after the game last night, admitted himself that the referees got it right, so we can throw conspiracy bullshit out the door right here, right now, even though Roger Goodell was celebrating with members of the Kansas City Chiefs like he was an instrumental part in the Kansas City Chiefs winning their second Super Bowl in 4 years. That's an argument for another day. But in the here and now, you have the defender, Bradbury, admitting after the game that the refs got me. He tried to get away, tried to pull a fast one, tried to get away with a hold, and he got caught. You have Patrick Mahomes. As soon as the play unfolded, Mahomes is emphatically pointing at what he saw was a blatant hold. And the referee, who I choose to believe was focused on that matchup, saw the hold and instinct took over, and the yellow flag gets dropped on the football field. That's what I think happened. I don't think there's any conspiracy. I don't think the referee in his earpiece said, okay, now's the time to throw the whatever you see. We're calling a holding. We need Kansas City to get a first down and kill the clock, and eventually whether punch it in for a touchdown or Harrison Butker puts it through the uprights. Chiefs have a field goal lead, and who knows how many seconds are left on the clock. What we do know is the penalty was called, first down, kneel, field goal, 8 seconds left. Jalen Hurts throws arguably the worst Hail Mary in the history of Hail Marys, and the Philadelphia Eagles come up on the wrong side of a 38-35 scoreline. Now, look, I'm not complaining, obviously. If you followed our picks in the days leading up to Super Bowl 57, we were on Kansas City money line. We were on Kansas City plus 1.5. We were on the over 50.5. So check. Boom, bang, bing. Presto. Profits. Hope you all did well. And ultimately, what happened was, I don't think the referees stole the win away from Philadelphia. You know what the referees really did? You know what the referees robbed us of? They robbed us of magic. They robbed us of what if, what could have been. Because if we're going to go the whole way and we're going to play make-believe here for a second, and we're going to pretend that Patrick Mahomes throws that ball into the corner end zone, Juju Smith-Schuster doesn't get to it, the referees don't throw the flag, it's now 4th and 8, Harrison Butker, let's give him the fact that he's probably going to convert the field goal. He missed a 42-yarder earlier in the game. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to convert that field goal. So now it's 38-35 Kansas City. Eagles have 2 timeouts, and they've got about 98 seconds, give or take, to do something with this. Either go for the win, or at the very least, we're off to overtime, and we're all sitting on the edge of our seats in a drama-filled Super Bowl 57. And so because of that, we were robbed of the what if. We were robbed of the possibility of heroics, of magic, of things we rarely see in pro sports. The final game-winning drive, games you and I played together as children, whether it's street hockey or out there on the ice. Here comes Sean Starr, game 7 in overtime, breakaway, Starr scores, Canadians win the cup. We've all lived that. If you're watching me, I'm 100% sure you lived that exact moment I just outlined. And that was Jalen Hurts' real-life moment on the biggest stage in front of a global audience. And we didn't get it. We were left with what I thought was one of the best Super Bowls I've ever seen. I mean, it starts touchdown. We're going back and forth. At one point, the total is as high as 64.5, and we're getting everything we want. Dynamic play, tremendous athleticism, back and forth game, Mahomes hobbling in the first half. What are the Chiefs going to do? They're down by 10. Can they mount a comeback? Yada, yada, yada. All that stuff. And the second half unfolds after the halftime show, which we'll talk about, and ultimately, the Chiefs, just every time they had the ball on offense, they do what they do, man. They pick apart the Eagles' defense like I thought they were going to do, and just outscored them 21-3 as soon as Rihanna left the stage at the halftime. And we're left with a couple of kneel downs and a 27-yarder, and that's the Super Bowl. Like air out of the balloon, from where it started to how it played out to where it ended. Yeah, that sucked. That part sucked, and that's. Honestly, I think that's the biggest crime here. Not that the referees or the league conspired against the Philadelphia Eagles or anybody else. It's that we were robbed as sports fans of drama, of heroics, of that magical moment in professional sports. Lots of people jumping in on the comments. What'd y'all think of Rihanna yesterday? Performing the halftime show. Listen, I thought Rihanna was fantastic. I thought Rihanna, and look, I'm an old school guy. I'm 44 years old now. I'm at this point in my life where I can appreciate artistry. I can appreciate entertainment. I don't need gimmicks. I don't need the Jumbotron to tell me when to stand up and applaud or when to cheer or when to boo or how to react. I'm watching the game. I'm in the game. I'm in the moment. I'm living it just like y'all are. And I'm watching Rihanna, who I thought looked great, smoking hot. And it was funny, right? Because you're looking at this and you're like, man, what's going on? She on like a beer diet? She got a pot belly or something, or like, no, man, she's pregnant again. Good job, ASAP Rocky. How do you get a name like ASAP? That's how you get a name like ASAP, brother. And Rihanna was out there by herself with a cloud of marshmallows, basically. There were like 100 marshmallows dancing around her for like 14 minutes yesterday. And she just played and spat out banger after banger after banger. I mean, it was phenomenal. It was like 8.7 on 10. It was that good. Like people are complaining about how come you're not running around? How come you're not running from side to side? Where's Drake? Where's Jay-Z? Where's Snoop-a-Loop? Where's everybody? How come it was just Rihanna? Listen, you're watching someone that has 14 number 1 singles. We're talking about a global icon in Rihanna who's out there performing while pregnant, mind you, singing and banger after banger, and you're wondering why she isn't running around? What do you want? You want Bruce Springsteen? Who you want? Hall & Oates out there? Who y'all want? I thought Rihanna was fantastic. And some of the reasons people don't like Rihanna was just absurd to me. Like, it's time to check yourself a little bit. Time to give yourself a little dose of reality. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that halftime Super Bowl performance yesterday. Full value, fantastic. Would love to see it again. Let's go with the comments coming in. It was a great weekend of sports. I'm not gonna lie. What up, Irish? I know my boy Irish getting super excited. Was it 13th of February today? This guy is the king of St. Patrick's Day parade, whether it's the traditional parade in downtown Montreal, the Chateauguay parade. Guy Irish is on the scene. Love it. Back in the comments, love the Habs keep showing the room, has a never quit attitude, but stop getting points. That's it, brother. You can't have it both ways. You can't have the Canadians, laying down and complimenting their never quit while also picking up points. I get it. They leapfrog the Vancouver Canucks now. What did I write down here? Don't laugh at me because I'm reading my notes. Montreal, 7th with 48 points. St. Louis and Ottawa, 51 points. Vancouver and San Jose, 46 and 45 points respectively. So the Canadians are going the wrong way. They're going the wrong way. But their season resumes again on Tuesday. They host Chicago. That's probably another win for the Canadians. And then they're out to Carolina Thursday. Saturday, they're in Toronto. It's the first of 4 road games starting on Thursday in Carolina. Good morning, Costa. Thanks, bro, for the heads up. It's green season. It is upon us. Happy early St. Patrick's Day to all my Irish friends. And I know on St. Patrick's Day, everybody is Irish. Interesting to see that Jonathan Drouin had a lot of giddy up in his game, certainly on Sunday in that 6-2 whitewashing of the Edmonton Oilers. But know this. There are 4 guys on the Montreal Canadiens so far this season that have 0 goals. 4 guys on the team have 0 goals. He is one of them. Owen Beck is the other. Owen Beck's played 1 game. He's got 0 goals. Jesse Ulonen. Ulonen, as I was told to pronounce Jesse Ulonen. Ulonen. Ooh. So the Y like a U. Ulonen has no goals. Chris Weidman has no goals. Which takes us to what I think is one of the bright spots of the Montreal Canadiens' uncompetitive season. Oh, excuse me. Gassy this morning. And that's the defense. It's the makeup, the complexion of the Canadiens' defense. I told you I'm a bit gassy today. Jordan Harris, Justin Barron, watching, before he got hurt, obviously Caden Gooley, he's a top pair defenseman, full stop, every day, all day. Arbor Jacki, Jonathan Kovacevic. We're talking about, it's about time with this Canadiens blue line, this collective group of defensemen that they have going. And remember, Logan Mailloux, who plays for the London Knights in the Ontario Hockey League, now is tied for the league lead in goals scored by a defenseman. Logan Mailloux on Saturday scored his 19th goal of the season. We talk about Lane Hudson. I don't think Lane Hudson is a Canadian next year. Maybe Logan Mailloux's not even a Canadian next year, but I think he's probably on a faster track than Lane Hudson at this point of their respective careers. What took so long? What took so long for the Montreal Canadiens? Like, I'm a novice when it comes to the world of professional hockey, right? I never played in the NHL. I never sniffed the NHL. I never sniffed a hockey scholarship. Never. I played midget double C. I played some house league, and that's it. I know what end of the stick to use. I know how to put hockey pants on. I know how to tie my own skates. Thanks, Dad. All that. Right? But when it comes to the world of pro hockey, like you, not my world, right? I watch hockey. I've watched hockey my whole life. I think I know the game. But when it comes to the failure to read the future, has to be, for me, the most disappointing aspect of Marc Bergevin and his 9.5 years at the helm of the Montreal Canadiens ship. And let's make one thing clear. Trevor Timmins and his scouting staff were the ones that told Marc Bergevin who to draft. That's why you have a scouting department. You hire those guys, give me information, tell me what's the best decision to make here, and I'll make that decision. When it came to Marc Bergevin signing guys, giving contracts, Brendan Gallagher, Paul Byron, bringing in Carl Alsner. Remember him? Oh, Now that I think about it, Karl Alzner might be the sexiest, most attractive NHL defenseman of all time. Does he remind you of anyone? Does Karl Alzner remind you of anyone? Oh, was he devastatingly handsome, was he not? But all kidding aside, those were the guys. Those were Marc Bergevin decisions. Let's get clarity on that. But for some reason, I knew it. My partner, Connor McKenna, knew it. Chances are you knew it. You knew what the future of hockey was going to look like, and that it wasn't going to be the lumbering Roman Hamrlik, Hal Gills taking over the league. Those guys were done. And what happened? The Montreal Canadiens took 2 steps, 4 steps, 6 steps back, getting slow foot, slow puck moving, stay at home, lumbering defenseman. When I knew it, and you knew it, that the future in the back end of an NHL team, you needed a guy who was fast, who was evasive, who had a good first pass, and was a master of the breakout. But for whatever reason, they went a completely different way. They went against trend, against what the future was telling us hockey was going to be played like. And I knew it then, and I'm more convinced of it today than I ever was. And it drives me bananas that Marc Bergevin was more concerned with who was going to sing the anthem on any given night on an idle February day than what the future of the defensive group and the complexion and the contrasting styles that you need to round out your top 6 needed to look like. I mean, you talk about wasting time. 9 years, 9.5 years. And now, finally, I believe the Montreal Canadiens are back on track, on trend, and building the complexion and the contrast style of their 6 defensemen or 7 defensemen on any given night back to the way we're moving, right? Like, this is where we are now. Speed, skill. This is where we're at in hockey, and it's only getting better and faster, and the players are only getting better and faster. So I hate wasting time. Like, be bad or be good. Don't be in the middle. Mediocrity, my friends, is death. So don't be there. Be at the top of the pile, like my friends at Axon and axongroup.com. Call them for more information for all your logistics and transportation needs at 888-99-AXON. It's a locally owned and operated company, a leader in the logistics space. They have the knowledge and the assets to get your freight to its destination on time, on budget, because your freight matters as much to them as it does to you, so they take care of it with kid gloves. It's an award-winning firm, a master in transportation and logistics in freight forwarding at axongroup.com, 888-99-AXON for more information. Proud sponsors of In the Car with Star. Montreal Canadiens back in action on Tuesday against Chicago, on the road for the next 4, beginning Thursday in Carolina, Saturday they're in Toronto. Awesome to see that for the first time in ever, that we've got 5 Canadians ranked inside the top 100, the official World Golf Rankings. This in the aftermath yesterday of Canadian Nick Taylor of Abbotsford, British Columbia, finishing second to now world number 1, Scotty Scheffler, in the new designated events. Remember last week on In the Car with Star, we were talking about designated events. It started, and guess what? We're going to be watching Tiger Woods on Thursday. Are we going to be watching Tiger Woods on Saturday and Sunday? To be determined. But in the here and now, it looks like we're going to see Tiger Woods at the Genesis Invitational at Riviera Country Club in Los Angeles. Now, look, it's his event. It's also another designated event. So the purse is $20 million, meaning the winner's paycheck is 3.6, meaning Scotty Scheffler got paid $3.6 million. Our guy, Nick Taylor, got $2.18 million for finishing second. So now he and Adam Svensson and Mackenzie Hughes and Adam Hadwin, these are the 5 guys now ranked inside the top 100 of the official World Golf Rankings. Canadian golf is here, and it's here in a big way, and it's only, my friends, getting better on what was a jam-packed weekend in sports. Everything from the Montreal Canadiens sweeping the weekend to the Waste Management Phoenix Open, providing tremendous drama, and having drama robbed from us. I really do believe that. I'm not blaming the referees. I'm blaming the what if, what could have been, the fact that the holding call gets called, removing the possibility for Jalen Hurts and his offense for moving the ball, at the very least, having a good attempt at tying it, but the flag gets thrown. Chiefs win, and we kind of limp to the finish line in what was one of the best Super Bowls of all time. Hit me up in the comments. What Super Bowl was as good, or perhaps in your mind better, than Super Bowl 57? Hit me up in the comments. You can always like and subscribe on YouTube, on Facebook, where you can follow us. And don't forget, you can download our podcast on iHeartRadio, Apple Music, or wherever your preferred destination is to download our audio versions of our podcast. And if you're still with us this deep into this bad boy today on this Monday, first of all, thank you. And you can always support me by supporting my sponsors like Axon and AxonGroup.com and K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur. Hope you were there this weekend. They got premium fuel at discount prices and the best snack game in the snack game business. They're on Highway 138 in Ganawage. It's right over the Mercier Bridge. It's like the third light. Hang a right. You're right in the parking lot. Gas is 24 hours a day. They have someone there to fuel you up to whatever you need. And ultimately, you can walk in. Today's Monday. They got fresh salad, garden-grown vegetables. Everything's done locally. And, I know the pandemic is more or less in our rear view, but we support local here, and we're not going to stop that. So support me by supporting my sponsors like K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur, Highway 138 in Ganawage, that you're still with us here. I'm 26 minutes into today's episode. I will be doing my first foray into a French podcast. Yes. So let's test this out. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Je m'appelle Sean Starr. Je suis un animateur sur la radio à chaque jour, lundi au vendredi, entre les heures 6h à 10h du matin, avec mon ami Connor McKenna. Puis on parle des Canadiens, on parle du resto, on aime McDonald's, on aime parler Canadien, NFL, PGA. And that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. So maybe it could be like a 2-minute podcast in French. No, I'm kidding. Looking forward to this with my guys from We Habs, OUI Habs. You can find them on YouTube, on Discord. I'm going on Discord. I've never been on Discord. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel old, but this is where they do it. So I'll be on there today at 5 o'clock. So if you want more Sean Starr, I won't be in the car. I'm gonna be home, and you want to hear Sean Starr in French? Oh. Sacre bleu, zut alors. That's coming up today at 5 o'clock on their channel, We Habs on YouTube. So go check them out. And look forward to hearing from you. And as always, you can like, subscribe, and follow us wherever you follow your favorite podcasts, okay? We'll be back in the aftermath of the Montreal Canadiens and Chicago Blackhawks. They play on Tuesday. In the Car with Star, brought to you by AxonGroup.com. Call them, 888-99-AXON. They have the knowledge and the assets to get your freight to its destination on time, on schedule, and most importantly, on budget, because your freight matters to them as much as it does to you. AxonGroup.com, 888-99-AXON for more information. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you here on Wednesday.